Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. This is Miss Ikra, your storyteller. Yes, and I'm here with one exciting story. And the name of the story is A Little Princess. This story has 6 chapters, so we are going to read the first 3 chapters and then we will read the other 3 chapters in the next lesson. So let's begin the story. So the first chapter is called Sarah. A young girl stared out from a cab at the foggy London streets. Her name was Sarah Crewe, and it was the first time in England. She had come with her father the week before on a huge ship all the way from India, and tomorrow her father would be sailing back without her. The cab stopped by a dull brick house. Outside was a large brass sign that read Miss Mitchen's boarding school for young ladies. Is this the place, Papa? Sarah asked hesitantly. Yes, this is it, Captain Crewe replied, squeezed her hand. Just then, the heavy front door opened, and Miss Mitchen came out to greet them. She had cold, fishy eyes and a cold, fishy smile. You must be Sarah, she said. Welcome to your new home. Oh, what a pretty child you are. And spoiled, I expect, thought in her mind. Behind Mrs. Mitchen came Miss Emilia, her younger sister. Welcome, she said, bobbing up and down with a nervous courtesy. Sarah is to have everything she wants, said Captain Crewe. I want no expense spared. Of course not, said Miss Mitchen, cold smile creeping over her lips. As our richest pupil, she'll have the prettiest bedroom, a pony and carriage, and her very own maid. Captain Crewe went with Sarah to her sitting room. I'm sure you'll be happy here, he said. You couldn't have stayed in India with me. The heat made you ill, and the schools are better here. I know, said Sarah, trying to be brave. But now the moment had come to say goodbye. It was even more awful than she imagined. They hugged each other as if they'd never let go. Chapter 2: The Boarding School. When Sarah came down the next morning, everyone stared at her. All the girls had heard that the new pupil was as rich as a princess. She's even got a French maid, whispered Jessie, one of the older pupils. And I saw her trunk. It's full of fur coats. Well, Jessie's friend Lavinia added spitefully. I heard Miss Mitchin say her clothes were ridiculously grand for a child. Until Sarah arrived, Lavinia had been Miss Mitchin's best dressed up pupil. Now Sarah would take her place. You go at the front, Sarah. The other girls soon adored Sarah. She held tea parties in her sitting room for the younger children and let them play with her doll, Emily. In the evenings, she made up stories of kings and queens and beautiful princesses. The others sat before her and listened entranced. Sarah had been at Miss Mitchin's school for 2 years when one foggy afternoon she came back to her room to find someone asleep in her chair. Looking down, Sarah saw it was Becky, the scullery maid. Poor thing, she must be exhausted, thought Sarah. At the moment, Becky opened her eyes with a frightened gasp. Miss, she stuttered. I beg your pardon, it was the warm fire and me being so tired. Don't worry, said Sarah, laughing. You couldn't help it. Becky stared at Sarah. She was used to being ordered about and scolded. She couldn't believe this girl was being kind to her. Ain't you angry, miss? Gasped Becky. No, cried Sarah. Of course not. We're just the same, you know. I'm only a girl like you. It's just chance that I'm not you and you're not me. Would you like to stay a minute? Sarah added. You could have some cakes. Becky devoured the cakes in hungry bites, all the time gazing at Sarah in wonder. I think you're like a princess, miss, said Becky. I'd love to be a princess, said Sarah. Perhaps I'll begin pretending I am one. I could think of ways to help people like real princess. Will you come and see me again, Becky? Oh, yes, please, said Becky, and hurried out of the room before Miss Mitchin found her. Chapter 3 Diamond Mines. A few weeks later, Sarah received a letter from her father. It set the whole school talking. An old friend has offered me a share in his diamond mines, wrote Captain Crew. We'll be rich beyond my wildest dreams. It makes me dizzy to think of it. Then shortly before Sarah's 11th birthday, she had another letter from her father. This one sounded quite different. I fear your father is not a businessman, he wrote. Each night I lie, tossing and turning. I can't sleep trying to work out the sums. I wish you were here with me. But despite his worries, Captain Crew wrote to Miss Mitchin telling her to organize an amazing birthday party for Sarah. Sarah was led into the schoolroom by Miss Mitchin. Behind her came the servants, carrying boxes overflowing with presents. You may leave us, Miss Mitchin announced to the servants. If you please, Miss Mitchin, said Sarah suddenly. Could Becky stay? Miss Mitchin jumped. My dear Sarah, she said, Becky is a scullery maid. Scullery maids are not like young ladies. But Becky is. Please let her stay, because it's my birthday. You are too kind, Sarah. Becky, go and stand there, said Miss Mitchin sharply, waving at the door. The instant Miss Mitchin had swept out of the room, everyone rushed to see Sarah open her presents. There were books and hats, necklaces and tiaras. But best of all, there was a magnificent doll. Imagine if she could talk. You're always imagining things. A little while later, Miss Amelia popped her head around the schoolroom door. You're to go for a tea, girls. A solicitor has arrived and Miss Mitchin wants to talk to him in here. After the talk, Miss Mitchin was enraged. Where is Sarah? She snapped to her sister. She's in the tea room with others, of course, said Amelia. Go and tell her to put on a black dress, ordered Miss Mitchin. Oh, sister, cried Miss Amelia. What's happened? Miss Mitchin wasted no words. Captain Crewe is dead. He died of jungle fever and, she added fiercely, he's lost all his money. I paid for this ridiculous party and all those presents. I'll never get my money back now, she screamed. Captain Crewe put all his money into his so-called friend's diamond mine. Then the friend disappeared. I'd like to throw Sarah out on the street, only it would look bad for the school. I'll make her work for every penny she owes me. When Sarah came to see Miss Mitchin, her face was white and her eyes were red from crying. She held her doll tightly in her arms. Put your doll down, ordered Miss Mitchin. No, Sarah answered. I won't. My father wanted me to have her. She's all I have left of him. Everything is different now, said Miss Mitchin, growing angry. You are a beggar. Do you understand? You have no relations, no home, and no one to take care of you. Sarah's thin, pale face twitched, but she said nothing. Don't stare at me like that, Miss Mitchin snapped. You're going to work for your living now. You can sleep in the attic, in the room next to Becky. And thank me, girl, said Miss Mitchin. Why should I thank you? For being kind to you and giving you a home. But you're not kind, said Sarah fiercely. And this is not a home. She turned and ran out of the room before Miss Mitchin could see her cry. Alright students, now it's time to say goodbye. You'll have to wait for the next lesson to see and find out what happens next. Till then, keep reading, keep smiling, and keep enjoying with your family and enjoy all the other lessons too. I will see you again next week. Allah Hafiz.